Oh no.
Oh dear lord. Oh hey.
So, I was thinking a lot about Orchestra Winks this summer, and it's been a really hard time to not be with my Orchies, you know what I mean?
Howdy, y'all. You guys talking about Jesse James? Well, Jesse James Days is coming up, and let me tell you, it's the biggest event in Northfield of the year. So this is the story of the defeat of Jesse James by the heroic townspeople of Northfield. In the 1800s, Jesse James, his brother Frank, and their men terrorized Midwestern banks as one of the most famous gangs of the time. One day in September of 1876, they thought they could just waltz into Northfield and try to rob the First National Bank, but the townspeople of Northfield had other ideas. The gang scouted out the town, then rode in on horses and went up to the bank. When they entered, they went up to the bank teller and shouted, "This is a holdup. Give us all your gold."
Oh, heavens to Betsy!
Hold up. We're not talking about Jesse James here, Will. We're actually making an orchestra video. It's the introduction. You should have gotten an email or message. So, actually, I'm going to first start by telling the story of the first wink. Once upon a time, there was a concert master who had a crush on the principal cellist, and he decided to make his move by winking. She unfortunately got dust in her eye and accidentally winked back, and that's how Orchie love began. There are many ways to share Orchie love. You can high five, you can hug, and especially wink.
Speaking of Orchie love, our fearless leader sure does love his Orchies. And here are some wise words from the man himself.
Gosh, I love my Orchies.
You guys see my sunglasses? They're prescription.
I love my Stoob.
I'm not mad, I'm just animated. You know, I just have so much gratitude.
Have you heard our new Celeste? It costs $30,000.
All right, guys, give it your all. Passion plus.
You know what I always say, Boeings have their ups and downs.
Oh, to end the concert, how do you guys feel about Hedwig's March? Are we up for it?
Wow, speaking of Smod, did you guys know his ancestors came from Norway?
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
You know what else came from Norway?
What?
Sweaters.
What?
Norwegian sweaters?
Oh yeah, Norwegian sweaters.
Now, there's lots of famous Christmas Fest stories, but none so great as the legend of the Christmas Festival of 1947. Unfortunately, that was the year of the worst lutefisk shortage the world had ever seen. Deprived of their lutefisk, the senior citizens that stormed campus were very upset. Moving at the blinding speed of 3 miles per hour, the old folks raced down the hill to Skoglund, out for blood. With stomachs empty of lutefisk and hearts full of anger, they charged towards the concert hall where the orchestra was rehearsing. As the angry Norwegian grandparents pounded on the doors, the Orchies, thinking quickly, began to play a beautiful rendition of Turtle Dove. The angry hearts were thawed by the beautiful music, and the crisis was narrowly averted.
Well, speaking of Christmas Fest, I hear they have a whole bunch of Christmas trees there. Do you know that Christmas trees are made out of wood? Yeah. Do you know what else is made out of wood?
No.
Is softball bats, especially the broken kind.
Yeah.
It's related to.
Broken Bat?
Oh, that's the
Ah!
one.
What's that all about?
Well, it's only the greatest Orky band legend of them all.
Back in 1906, when F. Milius Chris Johnson conducted both the St. Olaf Band and the St. Olaf Orchestra, members of each ensemble would try to bide for their conductor's attention by balancing weird things on their head. The band started with balls, and the orchestra started with spare bows and moved to larger sticks. It didn't really work, though. The conductor, he was just always consumed with his choir, so one day when he was fed up with the ensemble members dropping balls and breaking bows, he sent them both out onto the field outside. And they both started playing with their different things individually, and then kind of realized if they put them together, they can make kind of a cool sport. So they invented the game of softball. So now every reading day, the band and the orchestra come together to celebrate their invention of softball and play a game of Broken Bat. Well, I suppose it's about time to end this video.
Welcome to Orchestra.
Well, heck, y'all. How are we gonna put this gosh darn fire out?
P, right on it.
Alright, it's open.
I don't know what I'm doing.
What are you gonna say? Which one?
I just wanted to get out of the locker.
Go back in the locker.
Get in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Well, howdy, partner.
Howdy there.
Mind if I join you?
Welcome.
Oh, well, yippee-ki-yay!
Hello there.
Yeehaw, partners.
Welcome.
Ahoy!
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
So,
Guys, this is gonna be a mess.
it's the welcome video. It always is.